What's going on, guys? This is pilleater. I thought I would talk about today about baby boomers and last night's Richard Spencer United Shades of America deal and what has happened on CNN. I made a live reaction on my channel last night, being the tired, crazy self I am, and just want to see, just give my first words what I thought of the whole thing. And I was obviously crazy and like half tired and being Lenny Bruce like and humorous like Sam Hyde. And so I just did whatever, made some thrills, and got like almost 800 views just doing that. and it's stuff like that. It's really funny. So I was looked at it again, and really, we shouldn't be focusing on silly shows like CNN. I don't even watch CNN, and I don't even know who this the host is. He's just some comedian. I mean, if you really think about it, the corporations are made for a consumer, and the consumer for CNN is widely people who are 60 and over. These are basically ivory tower whites, who read the New Yorker, the New York Times. They live in like they're in positions of power, and they just stay at home on their fat retired ass and basically assume the world is out there and it's an oyster, and that they they don't have to go to these places, right? They just experience them. Like on that same show, the Anthony Bourdain show, they're talking about this Mexican hybrid people in California and how they're dancing. And you know what they talk about? Mexican hardcore punk. It's just one reason why you hardcore punkers are fake and you're just a part of the upper class. I don't care if you wear black. I don't care if you have tats or whatever. You're a part of the upper class. You just got to deal with that. And I thought it was sexy that there's literally some Mexican girls that like are into like white guys. That's cool. But of course, they think it's like it's some natural growth. And that was the Anthony Bourdain show, and makes baby boomers look cool. And there's a great article on altright.com by Vincent Law about baby boomers being a menace to the alt-right, and they are. And I mean, I don't blame them for the life they lived, because if you think about it, the baby boomer was like, they were born from the silent generation, and they were pretty much given a silver platter in the first 20 years of their life. They had white suburbia, they had the white ethno-state, but something went wrong that they were growing up after post-war, the Jewish takeover of academia, all this postmodern, cut-up creative writing avant-garde stuff was happening. And it may be beneficial to understand that, but they basically, I think it was a really lazy generation of people who basically didn't like what they're seeing, and they shaped the world into their own view. And we have what we're living in today, and that's kind of the globalist empire. Now, you could say it's a progression of technology and everything else, but let's focus on the baby boomer generation. It was the start of the white people civil war between the right kind of white people and the wrong kind of white people. I mean, Christian Lander, to borrow the term, it's starting, ever since the 60s, it basically changed, and we've been in that civil war ever since. I mean, I could argue and say it's been happening since Victorian era or even the French Revolution. But let's talk about this recent generation. I mean, the baby boomers are almost dead and out, and so they don't even know what a meme is. And them watching a show to think a whitewashed black guy is giving them sense that the world is okay. On that same show, they were talking about a multicultural mayor who happens to be white, and he's talking about how great it is where people listen to Daft Punk and do fucking tango. Some bullshit. Like, how the fuck is that multiculturalism? In fact, I find it quite offensive that some aspect of this liberal multicultural is widely offensive. It's talking about that you should be Japanese, black, Mexican, and do fucking salsa. Like, that's fucking extreme sharing communism. I thought it was good to have human biodiversity and what David Duke calls, real diversity, where you just have your own space and, you respect that. I mean, there can be some mixing of the races, but it doesn't mean give fucking Tyrone your fucking Eurobeat or something. It's like there's this wah, wah, wah crying where they want to be a part of everything. And I guess whites are so gullible in their translation, I think everything is universally white, their culture. Or they don't even want to say white because white means fascist. And so there's a lot of pinholes and flaws to this Richard Spencer interview. It's completely biased, but it's not that important. Matt Forney and Lana was on the show. That's great. Always fun seeing Matt Forney. I mean, I'm pretty sure the host is a nice guy. I think he really is a nice guy, and he's just doing his professional job, but he just doesn't understand. I don't even think it's, I think he knows it. I think he knows, but it's his job, right? It's his job to be a car salesman and do this stuff. I really think most people know race is real, sex is real, whatever in these positions of power. They just play a game and pretend it's not there. And so I think the host, I think everyone's pretty much a nice guy. Um, them like him doing Spencer interview. Yeah, I thought it was per funny though. That he called Spencer a snowflake in his like stand-up comedy. I think stand-up comedy is dead. It's now like an avant-garde Samuel Beckett act. That's what it is today, and it's overrun by left. And stand-up is definitely a baby boomer thing. We have new forms of humor, obviously, but that's interesting that he calls Spencer a snowflake. Assumingly, he's using our rhetoric that we call them a snowflake onto us and the white nationalists, and they think that we're playing their game, and that's why I'm a little bit worried about Spencer using this post-structuralist French deconstruction language to talk about identitarianism as basically it's compatible with this hostile Dom DeLillo 1980s school of thought. And I'm totally against that. I think postmodernism is basically a zeitgeist of the Reagan era. It's dead because the Gen X, they're getting a position of power. I don't even think we're in postmodernism. I think modernism is dead, and I'd like to see it dead. It really was just a justification of creative writing and artistic stuff using pseudo-intellectual rhetoric. That's all it is, really. It gives you the right to be a pedophile, a Nazi pedophile. And so I think, okay, you might be getting the message across by calling things identitarian. I mean, I get that. And I get there's the whole New Right school from, Arctos Media, whatever, Countercurrent, New Right. But it's too niche. And you could be talking one thing, but then you fall in this intersectional alt-right, whatever. I don't play games using those words. I look at myself as an avant-garde artist. I do my own thing, and I just don't play the French game. I don't use Jewish overlords like Derrida to basically make excuses to my own perversions. I do what I do. I'll cite Yukio Mishima. I'll cite Haruki Murakami. I will do my own thing. I don't need an establishment, some syllabus of boring academic English literature that should be completely eliminated from the syllabus. It completely be eliminated. None of this should be taught. And so I guess like we're really talking about, consuming and programming. And so when we all watch the CNN, we all know Spencer is right, and it's becoming more hostile where the internet doesn't like baby boomers. And yeah, they're trying their best to redirect it and make their own thing. But like it's not working, and it's changing. I mean, like once again, we have like these weird civic nationalists on YouTube, from that guy T to Blair White to roaming millennial, basically will flirt with what Spencer calls this liberal libertarianism. Do what you want, fluffy puffy. I mean, I like Milo, but Milo is probably subscribed to that too. And so, how can you have both things? I'm an open-minded person because I can talk intellectual, but you can still have to be the right to be a Nazi pedophile. It just doesn't add up, and I just think it's all bullshit. I mean, I would go so far to call myself a Dadaist, to like blow that up, Revolution 909, Atari Teenage Riot, just go at it, right? And so, yeah, that is a problem. There's going to be a crack with this whole liberal system. It's just a bunch of people conning one another. And so I don't think the CNN thing, it's cheesy. It's just same old business. It's not that important. And I think I have criticisms for both sides. And I just think, I don't know if, I'm pretty sure the alt-right will become maybe more established. I always have this theory that libertarianism will basically eat up the Republican Party, and that will become a norm. I just I don't know. I'm interested in the alt-right because it was avant-garde, but as it gets more normie and mainstream, I think to myself, how is it going to get more normie and mainstream if we're talking about values of a white ethno-state and pushing people out, which to me sounds like classical Boyd Rice or something like that. So Yeah, I mean, I really don't much to say on that other than yeah, he's just got to stay away from that French talk and do his own thing and start triggering people. Uh, Raise the higher sun.